Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. We are here again for another weekly installment of the Star Cup. We're already now into the fifth round, and we are here at the mighty street circuit that is Baku in Azerbaijan. Definitely one that requires no introduction, with non-stop action ahead of us tonight that we are going to look forward to. And oh my, I cannot believe
Oh,
the first impressions of this race are already throwing me off as well as the drivers as we see rain falling here. And again, we are joined by Chenzo, again joining us in the booth. Chenzo, I'm sure you're just as shocked as I am, but how are you doing and what do we have in store for us?
hello, I'm doing great. Yeah, no, I can't believe what I'm looking at here. Rain in Baku. Throws a spanner in the works for everyone, I would imagine, on a really fast circuit. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what the drivers can do out here in these mixed or in these wet conditions. It looks pretty wet, actually.
I wonder what tires we're going to see. We see the intermediate tire
Someone just went
now,
out,
right
yeah.
now, on the first car. And of course, Chenzo and I are completely blind to what is ahead in terms of the weather. So, the quality session could dry out, it could get worse. It seems to me like the drivers are not really rushing to get out, so maybe there's some better things on the way. But either
Perhaps.
way, we have a very unique circumstance here to deal with already. And really quickly, we just want to recap last race. So we will just pull up the standings to do so. Again, that was Austria, and it was just a really fun one overall. And it's led to a very tight drivers' championship now, with Bella still in the lead as was before, but his lead has been dramatically cut down to just 1 point, with 69 points for Bella and only 68 as a difference for another one. And then Hazy Aussie is right behind them in P3 with 53 points. So things are getting really tight. Hooligans is not far back as well. And then you have T-Bone there in P5. And who knows what will happen from here. We still have, I think, 5 more races on top of this one tonight to go through before the season is over. So lots can happen. And as you can see, the drivers could be really thrown into the thick of things sometimes. As now, I think Jordan will be our first hot lap of the day, and I really want to see what the drivers can do here on this wet track.
Yeah, it doesn't look as bad as I thought. Definitely intermediate conditions, but I don't think it's ready for full wets.
Rain still falling as Jordan takes the left-hander into turn one. A lot in 90-degree corners here in Baku, especially in this first sector. So you really want to thread the needle on the inside. I want to be careful not to go too close to the wall there, as I think Jordan really put the margins close there. But either way, he is now through down the straight again to the heavy braking zone of turn three. Really want to be careful in these wet conditions. Again, not something we are used to seeing. And now we'll ride on board as Jordan heads through four and approaching the chicane upcoming. So we're getting some information from some of our viewers here. Looks like it's going to be a dry race. That's what the weather
Okay.
suggests. But for now, we have this intermediate weather, so to speak, to deal with. And Jordan is approaching the castle section. Want to be careful in the wet conditions here. This is going to be another unique challenge. Want to get as close to the walls as possible, but of course not hitting them and maintaining the speed as well. So he's going to make a good first lap here, hopefully. Another tough turn will be this downhill left. I think it's turn 15, with the wall right in front of you as you approach the apex, and Jordan kind of left a little bit of room there, but that's fine because I think you just want to kind of get through this part of qualifying for now. We'll see what
Just set a
happens.
lap.
And he is now finishing off the lap, heading down the straight. We'll see what the lap times are, and we'll see if they improve as well. I'm going to get my information going, and also I'm just going to get the stream linked up as well. And Jordan, 153.5 for the first lap so far. And yeah, just gonna look up the stream here and just make sure everyone can get the link successfully. If you want to just have easier access, feel free to just subscribe to the channel. They'll just notify you when we are live, but it is every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Alright, getting the link now.
Another one jumps to pole position.
Very nice from another one, 153.1. And Nabi also gets up there in P3 for now. So the McLarens are 1-2, but we still have lots of drivers left across the line. Hazy a little bit lower down than he'd want to be with a 158.7.
And Bella's just about to finish his lap. We'll see where he falls. But yeah, at least Hazy's going to have another go at it. I think he can move up a couple places.
And you really don't want to, throw it into the wall now because it might dry up here, and you really don't want to just crash when this is not going to be very important in the all scheme of things. But you never know; the rain could stick around longer, and maybe you can get a lap done now that can keep you up there. As we saw Bella kind of hit the wall there as he's finishing his lap. But DRS Maestro improves by quite a bit, has to be said. So I think the track is perhaps getting drier, Chenzo.
Yeah, I'm looking on Bella's onboard, and it does look like it's drying up. So that's probably what's happening right now. The track evolution is getting faster.
Watching Queen's Tiago now. He's out of battery, which might hurt his lap time overall as he crosses the line, but it is still pretty good into P9 with a 156.897. And looks like Dastardly is also on a hot lap as well. Let's see if he can finish off the lap strongly here. Want to be careful with the wall on the right there. He does cut the margins very finely. Very nicely done, Dastard, has to be said. Approaching turn 16, the last kind of turn of the track. You really want to carry the speed through there. And I think Dastardly is going to have a decent lap here, but he might not have enough battery to get all the way to the end. We'll see what he can get done, though, when he crosses the line. A couple questions in the chat. I apologize. It's kind of hard for me to read them just with the very bare bones setup I have here. But not much has happened so far. We're just into the qualifying session. It's raining currently, but we think it's drying up and it's getting grippier. So the times you see right now, as we see Dastardly hit the wall there and also get into P10, the times we see right now will be definitely improved upon as we get further into the session. And we're just going to keep an eye on Hazy Ozzy here, see what he can do. He's on a hot lap for sure. Let's see if he can improve.
Ooh, that was close.
A question from our resident viewer, Speedmaster, asking about tire management in qualifying sessions. To be honest, there's really not much of it going on. It's kind of more so about getting them up to the temperature you want. Once you get them up to the temperature, you then kind of do your one lap usually. Maybe sometimes you can recharge and go for another lap later on. But other than that, that's about the full extent of what the tires will do. So there's really no need to save them too much. You need some for the race, but you generally have a lot of tires to use. So you don't have to worry about it too much, at least on the game anyway. It's very simplified compared to real life. Jordan, anyway, has improved now, getting back up to P1 with a 152.1. So definitely we are improving, and the rain has gone away.
Yeah, so the softs are going to come out now. Unless, I don't know how long it'll take for the track to dry up, but it should be okay pretty soon.
Looks like Dastardly retired there. What happened to him?
Oh.
He's in the pit lane? Looked like it.
Now, I wonder if they'll have enough time to have two runs at it. They might just have the one chance towards the end here.
And now we're watching T-Bone navigate his qualifying lap. He's approaching the castle section now. Has to be careful through here. He's got the intermediate tires on the dry track, which, as you can see, is problematic. And he almost took his front right wheel off there. But he is still continuing on the lap, looking to finish it off. But again, I think it's going to be improved upon as the drivers, as Chenzo mentioned, start to put on the soft tires.
You know, I think this will still be a pretty good lap from T-Bone. Probably top 5.
There's some good comments in the chat, Chenzo. Sorry you can't see them, but they're mentioning T-Bone is a versatile driver and he can use the intermediates whenever he so chooses. And that's definitely true. He's managed to get the lap done, and it's not that bad. P8 for now, but of course he's going to come around, get the soft tires on, and then look to improve upon that. Does anyone have them on right now?
It looks like a couple drivers have put them on, but they're not out yet.
I think I saw one coming out of the pit lane there just now. I just don't know who that was. Oh, there it is. Bella is on the soft tires, so this will definitely show us how much the track has dried out here. And you'd think, you know, just as time goes on, it's going to get even better, right? So there's going to be a lot of track evolution here. Oh, what's this? A 5-place penalty.
Oh, in the downhill left-hander.
Damn, it's yeah, and I think it was Maestro who actually has the penalty applied. I think it was Menzo involved, but it's Maestro who's going to get the punishment, and that's going to suck for him.
Yep.
You know, he's going to be obviously down 5 positions, so for now that's going to be P6, but you know, it's going to be improved upon for sure. So that's going to hurt his motivation a little bit, but let's see if he can overcome that and still put a good qualifying effort together. Bella is still getting on his outlap on those soft tires. We also see the return of Ali Mo here. He's now in the Sauber all the way in Nigeria. Definitely looking to make a good impression again, as I see a little bit of lag there, maybe. Who knows? It's Ali Mo after all. You never know what you're going to get. But we're glad to have him back. He's here looking to get a good race together and get some solid points, which I definitely think he can do. But as you can see, I'm just not sure if he's driving that way into the wall or if it's the lag.
Shout out to Alamo.
All right, Bella is now starting his lap, I think. Or
yeah,
no,
so I was gonna tell you, I kept looking at his onboard, and it doesn't look like the softs are the good tire right now.
Really? Wow.
No grip, slipping and sliding everywhere.
That's surprising.
So,
I did not expect that. Wow.
It's still in the crossover period for sure.
So we're now watching Alimo again. He's on the soft tires. Anyone else? I don't think it tells me what tire they're currently on, unfortunately. Just the tire they set the lap time with, I believe. So, yeah, I think Alimo is the only one trying it now, but as Chenzo mentioned, it might not be worthwhile just yet. Might have to wait till the very last minute. That might make things very exciting here.
Yeah, I think it will come down to that last lap.
And Alimo's going in as well. So he feels the lack of grip as well. So who knows? Maybe we stay on the intermediate tire until the very end. It's going to be a tough decision to make as a driver. But again, Chenzo and I don't have the information in front of us. So the drivers are going to be definitely ahead of the game there as to what's coming. But we will just have to sit back and watch.
And Hooligans just went out on his outlap on intermediate, so looks like some people are gonna stick with the inters for this last lap of qualifying.
All right, so and Nabi as well is on the intermediates as well. So let's see if people follow their lead or if they try and do something different. Menzo is also on the intermediate tires. AZ Racing is on the softs, I think that is.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
He's got the softs, but very low grip still.
It's gonna be. I'm curious to see like what the top, the highest up runners do, because they obviously are in a position right now that they don't have to improve, but obviously everyone else will, and you never know what can happen to you. So their decision is going to be telling. Anyone else? Are people just avoiding? Okay, no. People are actually coming out now. Hazy Ozzy's on the soft tires. Formula Jonah's on the soft tires. So it's kind of leaning that way now. This is so tough.
Oh man, this is gonna be crazy. Hooligan's about to start his fast lap on inners, and he has a Ferrari in front of him, giving him that draft.
Alright, so it's going to be interesting to compare here. Hooligans on the intermediates, definitely a quick driver. Let's see what lap time he can get, and then let's see how the soft runners compare. We have no idea what it feels like, but we are going to just ride on board and figure it out. Hooligans now into turn 1. And it looks like he still has a decent amount of grip, but I'm hearing the tires locking up a little bit, so maybe it is falling off. But he's still continuing now towards turn 3, down the straight. He's got the Ferrari in front of him.
And that Ferrari is on softs, so it
Okay, that's a good.
why he's catching up so quick.
And that's AZ Racing. That's AZ Racing, who is also on a hot lap, but immediately backs out because you're right. I think the grip is not there on the soft tires. AZ Aussie is about to get started. 50 seconds now for the drivers to cross the line and get one more lap in. Formula Jonah in the Alpine is down the straight, looking to get his lap going. Snake and Beans retired. Not sure if that was a crash or a voluntary retirement.
Looks like voluntary.
What does Jonah do here in the first sector? I'm curious if the softs are still slow. It looks like they are. Jonah's car is squirming as he brakes and heads out that left-hander, and now he's going to be careful not to overstep the mark here coming out of turn 2. And I think the intermediate tires are just holding on. We're going to flip back to Hooligans now, who is finishing his lap.
And he's 3 seconds faster on this lap. Is that going to get him? Oh, Menzo gets pole.
What an interesting situation here. So the intermediate tires are the way to go. HMP Hooligans sets the new lap time for pole position, which is currently at 1:49.2. Can anyone else beat him? You'd think they would have to be on the intermediate tire to have a chance. And we're looking at Jordan to see if he can do it in the McLaren. Through turn 15. Definitely has more grip than the soft runner drivers do. There is currently no... Well, okay. The game is equal in the performance. Just answering the question I saw there in the chat. The game is equal for all the cars, but diving further into that reveals some small issues. But it's pretty negligible. Just consider all of the cars equal pretty much. To make that big of a difference, it'd have to be a higher level. Anyway, Jordan crosses the line and blasts that time out of the water with a 1:48.4. And I think that might be safe for him for pole position. And DRS Maestro is also going to get a good lap time in here, but remember he has that 5-place penalty, so he's going to be...
How much will the toll help him.
Yeah, that's right. He's getting a toe there,
Oh!
and he does get into pole by quite
Wow.
a big margin. The track really ramping up there, at the very end. But again, that penalty is just biting him in the butt right now, and he's going to drop to P5.
Oh,
Overall,
P6.
what a qualifying session that was. I can't even believe what we just saw around Baku of all places as well.
Yeah, that mixed conditions really made it tough for everyone.
So, okay, Maestro and Menzo got 5 place penalties, so they're both going to get those. So it will be Jordan on pole, then H&P Hooligans beside him, then it'll be Hazy Aussie, Alimo, BRZ on bags, Nimble Pattern, and you can see some of the soft tires managed to get a decent lap together, but it's nowhere near the intermediate tires. Following them is Nabi, then another one in the McLaren looking to get another strong race through the field. T-Bone is in P11 in the Mercedes. Bella is right behind him. Then we have Jonah, Snake and Beans, XM, Mr. Tim, Dastardly Daddy. I think it was Tiago after that, and we'll get the last two as soon as we load in here. Just to cover that. AZ and Golar were the last two. So, as the drivers mentioned earlier, it is looking dry for now. Thank you, everyone, for joining into the action again tonight. This is round 5 of the Star Cup. Again, we're roughly halfway through the season here. Round 10, I believe, is the last one before we, I'm sure, do it all again for another season. But we're getting towards halfway now, and it's going to be an important race for the drivers to figure out tonight. And Baku is always a very difficult track to not only drive, but also just figure out a strategy that will win you the race. Because uh, I hope we don't see it, but I think we might be seeing a lot of safety cars in front of us, and you never know what can happen. Anyway, on the formation lap now, pulling up the tires. And everyone's on the mediums or the hards, and it's only Hooligans or Jonah who are on the hard tires. So that's pretty not interesting, but interesting that everyone ended up there. if you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think the ones started on the hards, they don't need a safety car in the opening laps. It's gonna mess up their strategy, but uh, the ones on the mediums will have the advantage at first, and then they'll start dying off. So we'll see how Hooligans does. Once we're a couple laps into the race.
And I'm sure a lot of drivers know this track really kills the rear tires in particular because
Right.
almost every turn is a slow speed exit. So you're going to be leaning on those tires as the torque is applied, and you don't have the downforce to keep the car settled. So you will see a difference with the hard and medium tires, I'm sure, if the race can stay green. That's another question entirely. It might be a situation where there's not that much racing to be done, but hopefully that does not happen. And the hard tire runners can hopefully get a longer first stint before, as Chenzo mentioned, that safety car comes out. Because if it comes out too early, they are kind of out of options, and they are going to struggle from that point unless more chaos happens. So now the drivers are just heading down the straight, very long, famous straight here at Baku, which is not entirely straight. There is a little chicane here in the middle, but it's flat out easily in these cars. Can catch you out if you're not careful, though.
Yeah, we'll see how, if any people fall victim to this race. Hopefully not.
Pretty much every turn can go wrong around here, and that's kind of the
Yeah.
problem. Is you take your focus off for 1 second, and you're done. So it's all to play for here. The drivers are now getting ready. We see T-Bone, of course, reversing into his grid spot in true style as he always does. We don't have the best camera angle to show it, but you can see him there in the Mercedes making his mark on the race and getting up the grid. But we're going to keep an eye on the front, kind of top 5 here, and then kind of pan from there. But BRZ on bags, we're going to watch from him in P6. For now, though, it's going to be Jordan H&P on your front rows. We're in round 5 of the Star Cup around Baku. We are set and ready. Long hold there, but we are off. And immediately we see Jordan covering off the inside of H&P Hooligans. And Hazy Ozzy does try to make it too wide on the outside, which he does successfully. And has the overspeed to get into P2 for now. Will the drivers survive? Turn 2, it's very dangerous. We see a huge pile up here. This is going to be a safety car.
No.
Oh my goodness, what was that? That was
Both
like a
Haas.
parking lot.
Yeah, both Haas are out immediately at turn 2. I couldn't really see what happened, but like you said, it was just parked.
DRS Maestro and Nimble Pattern are out. Oh no, the Haas boys are out of the race before they get to turn 2. That is always where it comes together. Turn 1 is pretty wide open and you can go several cars wide, but then turn 2 it just like tightens everything up and you really figure out, you know, if you're in a good spot or not. But that has brought out the safety car already. To be honest, the viewers are mentioning red flags. Definitely, that probably should have been one in real life. But I think most of the drivers got going there besides the 2 Haas drivers. So we're under safety car for now. Probably going to look to get started on lap 3, I'd estimate.
Yeah, and I'd imagine there's a couple of drivers that are going to change their front wing right here during the safety car window. Because that just looked like a lot of people taking damage.
So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. We'll see which drivers have damage, and I'm seeing some end plates are missing here. We saw 3 cars in a row there with no wing or half a wing with that nice camera angle in turn 15. So there will be some drivers coming into the pits. Let's just see what happened in that moment in terms of the positions. Look at this, T-Bone up 6 positions from P11 to P5 now. He did get through the carnage and he stayed out. So his car is relatively healthy. But now we see Bella, another one, Snake and Beans and Menzo, some key players for sure, pitting for damage, which might actually end up working out because now they're going to have slightly fresher tires. You never know.
Yeah, they can go to the end.
Yeah, exactly, right? It just frees that whole opportunity up, but we will see. Of course, they wanted to avoid that, but it's not the end of the world for them. All the damage has been repaired, and they're going to get right to the back of the pack before we get going here. So T-Bone's up 6 positions. Dastardly doing very well. I think he survived the carnage as well, so he's up 10 positions because of that into P7. And Golar from almost the back of the grid to P9. In terms of the damage, how accurate it is, not very much because that's by design. The game does allow what's called a simulation damage mode, which would make it fairly accurate, but we do not feel that's necessary for the skill levels and the things that happen in online racing. So we have it on kind of a reduced setting, which does allow the front wing to be destroyed, but nothing else. So ultimately you can fix any damage that you recover from, unless you just crash really hard and then it knocks your wheels off. Then you're out. But otherwise, you're only going to be dealing with the front wing. So we could definitely make that more punishing, but we don't feel that is necessary for now. Interesting question.
Yeah, so that was about half the field that had to pit.
So let's just cover that, the tires particularly. So yeah, a lot of drivers are now forced onto the hard tire, which who knows, may end up being a good thing for them. But they have lost positions, and we have some big names in there in terms of the championship runners with Bella and another one, your top 2, down there in P10 and 11 on the hard tires. So that advantages Hazy Ozzy for sure. to hopefully separate and get some points on them. But of course, anything can happen here. And we got one more lap to do under the safety car before we get going. A lot of people chatting. I wish I could keep up with it, guys. I apologize. I definitely need a better setup. But we're seeing some comments from the drivers as well as to potentially what happened there. I hear Nabi's name being mentioned, so we'll see if we can look back at that later on and figure it out. We did manage to get it from the good camera angle there, but it's so hard to tell with so many cars in the one shot. Okay, I'm gonna go for it. Sorry,
Yeah.
Chenzo. One more thing.
Do
Shout
it, do
out
it.
to Misha the
Yes.
cat. Shout out to Misha the cat. Let's go, Misha. You're a good cat.
Shout out to Misha.
Much love to Misha. As now we're about halfway through the lap here, getting ready to get going. I think we will be getting going because the pack has bunched up here and the damage has been cleared.
Yeah, safety car in this lap. Should let them go right about now.
You'd think, right? As they get into Sector
No.
3, the safety car should separate here. And it does. So, Jordan 2 Wavy will be heading us off here on to lap 3. Hopefully we can get further through the lap before anything happens. Hopefully we can get back to this point several times before anything else happens. But it's Baku, so you never know. But either way, it's a long straight here, so Jordan's going to have to be careful not to go too early because he will be under pressure. So it's not the most straightforward one for sure, but it should be hard for anyone to make a huge move here. It is just a long straight, but you never know.
Yeah, and you can't wait too long either. Oh, he's
And
gone.
there goes Jordan. Jordan has
Yep.
gone. Oh, 10-second penalty for BRZ on Bags for colliding with the Mercedes of Menzo. We will see what happens to him later on. For now, though, in the top positions, things remain relatively stationary. Not too many battles here. Dastardly is being attacked, I think that was, by Jonah. Oh, what was that? Snake and Beans was around into the wall, and he has brought Menzo with him. Two more drivers which have survived some contact here in Baku, but we see Menzo completely missing his front wing, now
Yeah,
falling
big
to the
damage.
back. That looks spicy. It kind of reminded me of the Sergio Perez and the Carlos Sainz incident we saw
man.
earlier in real life.
Same corner, yeah.
Same exact scenario as well. The drivers both being hooked and being pulled to the right, or to the left rather. As now the drivers navigate the castle section, we see Golar and Tiago exchanging positions for P11 and 12 right now. No one is crashing into the castle though, and we are going to continue on for hopefully a complete green flag lap here. And we have a nice pack as well for the top 5, with T-Bone at the very back of it in P5 right now, Jordan at the front, and another one in Bella are moving up slowly with those newer tires, so you never know, that could work out for them in the end.
Yeah, they're only like 4 seconds behind the leaders, so they'll probably be up there within a few laps.
And as long as they have some green flag running, they will start to catch them, as well as the hard tires are going to last longer. We see some moves further back in the field. Bella and another one are continuing to battle here.
Oh.
Bella splits between two cars there, I believe, momentarily, but I think that puts Nabi down several positions. I think he was on the outside there, and I think that did not work out in his favor. But Bella and another one are on the charge, looking to get back to where they were at the front of the field. Another
Yeah, Navi
one.
just didn't have any room
Yeah,
at the
right.
stop. Yeah.
It just tightens up there. You can go really aggressively into turn 1, but turn 2 is where you really need to figure it out. Dastardly is still holding on to PA here. He's hitting the wall, but that's just a minor contact. He should be fine, with Jonah right behind him and several other cars as well looking to get by.
Hopefully he can stay within DRS, so he has that during the straight, or else he's going to be pretty exposed.
And it's getting very close now for the top 7. Sorry, the top 5, as I mentioned earlier. There is a brief separation with Ali Mo somehow getting into P4. I haven't even mentioned him yet. In the Sauber, I think he did survive that damage in the start, and he has moved through the field. But I think another one and Bella have a good shot here to recover. We will see if they can work together. They're now going down the straight. Another one has to be careful there. Oh, and Hazy has overtaken Jordan for